Hi, welcome to the round 16 preview here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel as the Carlton Football Club are set to take on the Richmond Football Club at the MCG. It's going to be a 3:20 p.m. time slot. We're finally out of prime time, guys. It's happened. I wanted to just give someone else a shot. Wow, what a couple of weeks it's been. Come off the bye. We played against the Cats last week. We were awesome. The only way to really talk about it is in that manner. We were fantastic. We reached a level that we wanted to see. We wanted to see some real dominance, particularly against a team that we respect, which we do in Geelong, not only as a team but as a club. And no, I never really subscribed too much to the theory that, we had to make a statement in order for it to be real. I was pretty confident that it was real. But I think after seeing it and the manner in which we dismantled them, not only just on the scoreboard, it just the way in which we mentally broke Geelong was really impressive to see. It's always interesting to note when you listen to opposition coaches talk about us. And I think Chris Scott gave us one of the biggest compliments that we've seen Chris Scott ever give us, or most, if not any coach give us from the opposition. We were just too good. And not to get too cocky or arrogant, but I mean the confidence and the belief collectively, I'm guessing on the inside and now the outside as well with us, this is new territory. And for whatever reason, my mind, when I think about this game, I've been doing it a lot lately. I think because I do believe that these are the days, the days of what we were begging for, like the good times. And I think where my mind goes to with this game and really for the rest of the season is, can we start doing what teams used to do to us? How many times did you sit at the MCG or Marvel or at home and you sat there and you watched these clubs just beat up on Carlton? Just mentally, we just knew we might give it a shot for a quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, but they would almost toy with us. I want that. I want that to be flipped around. I want to see us assert ourselves against the Tigers this week. I love the Tigers, respect the Tigers, love what they've done. They've done so well. They won premierships. I want it. I want what they were able to do. We all want what they were able to do. I think Richmond in particular is a team that for so many years we just couldn't do it. Prior to that period, we could, and they couldn't beat us. And, things do go in swings and roundabouts, and I want to enjoy the Blues, get to party time. We're a really process-driven side now, and you can see it. The fundamentals, we've worked on them. And what I saw last week with the scores off turnover in particular is where I think we can just continue to tinker with and continue to refine. And it was exciting. I mean, we kicked 9 goals, 1 in the last quarter against Geelong. I mean, that type of footy. We talk about our pressure in our contest. I think our stoppage work, our clearance work, barring if the group were to come out with the wrong mentality, I think we would at worst always, break even in that regard. I rarely do I see us lose that area of a football match in a really bad way. We have so many quality players and we've got a really nice, bit of synergy going on with them. The scores off turnover were, that was the theme coming into the season. Could we add that layer into our game? And so when it starts to look like what it did in the last couple of weeks, not just against Geelong, we saw it a bit against Essendon, we saw it a bit against Port Adelaide and even Gold Coast. When that starts to come and we start punishing sides, the crowd goes to another level, because, pressure gets the crowd involved, tackles, holding the ball, and then away we go. We start adding that to this group, and that's going to be an important factor come finals. And that's the thing as well. I think for so long I suppressed that thought of looking too far ahead, and I am staying in the moment. But really, what I'm looking at now from this Sunday onwards is, can we just continue to refine, learn every lesson we've got to learn, get a magical run with health, please. And make a charge at it. I believe we are able to win the premiership in 2024. I think we're capable. That doesn't mean we're going to do it, but I do believe we're capable. And that is a confidence that I've probably never had to this level. I've probably said it for many years. If you've grown up with me, if you've known me since I was a kid, I've always said, yeah, Carlton will be good. And it was always a running joke that this year would roll around, I'd say it, and it wouldn't come true. But like Carlton are good now. And that's an adjustment, to be honest, because now that I feel that after last week in particular, and the last couple of weeks, now that I feel it, it's almost like, oh, what do we do with it? For so many years, we were looking for answers. What's wrong? What's not working? What's the issue? Is it a coach? Is it the assistant coaches? Is it the board? Is it the CEO? Is it the president? Is it the players? Do we have a bad culture? For so many years, and to be able to just sit back and enjoy the show and trust and believe that whatever's going on internally, whatever's going on inside those four walls is rock solid. They've been through the trials and tribulations. It's a new experience now. It's an elevated experience. I mean, to listen to those of you who watch and who've been watching for a long time and who have been supporting for a long time and grew up in an era where you watched multiple premierships, to even just to read and hear some commentary around the fact that you are seeing this team show signs of what you saw in 95, 79, the great teams. Like that's remarkable to me. That's all we wanted. That is the start of hopefully a real unification of the generations. Because for so long we've had a gap. Let's be honest. The experience of those born. I was born in 91, so early 90s onwards, compared to before me and those who were alive and at an age where you could remember at least one premiership. It's almost like a totally different experience. It's a totally different club. One generation has seen it, lived it, breathed it, tasted it, enjoyed it. And the other generation has heard about the other generation, seeing it, living it, breathing it, tasting it. So not to say that the job's done. There's so much footy to play. Everything looks great right now, but you never know what can happen. So there's always that level of humility. And I think that's what this generation has that the previous one didn't. Some of you were born into it and it was great always from the beginning. For us, it hasn't been that way. It's been, fearful, anxiety ridden. Even when we started showing signs, it's like, oh, I'm a little bit scared. Like something could go wrong this week. Like, oh, Tigs are good. What if Liam Baker has 30 this week? Or, and take nothing away from Richmond. They can beat us this week. Anyone can beat us. If we are 5% off, anyone can beat us. And we're going to lose at some point, for sure. Hopefully it's not in a grand final or in a really important match, but it is a journey, it is a process. But what I think I'm now able to do is really just take a step back a little bit more and just enjoy it. These are days that we begged for. We kicked, we screamed on the fan cams after games. We sat there through how many therapy sessions, and we just asked, can we see the club consistently apply the application that we want to see to a high level? So we're seeing that coming up this week against Richmond. To be honest, I'm disappointed that Tom Lynch is not playing. And the reason is because I want them at their best. I want everyone at their best. I want to play every team at their best. I like the challenge. The challenge is what makes us better. I don't want it to be easy. I don't want there to be a question around the merit of the opponent. I want teams to be giving us our best. I want us to learn how to embrace this it almost feels like this new page of, we're coming now for all of you. I want that. That's what I want to see. We all sat there. How many times did we sit through 4 quarters of footy against opposition that just mentally toyed with us, and we knew that we just weren't up to it at the task. We weren't hard enough. We weren't fit enough. We just weren't good enough. And Richmond's a club that's done that for a long time. I would love to bury them, but also the win is the most important thing. The percentage is gradually rising. We're sitting second right now. Win. Just keep winning. That's the most important thing, and that's the difference. I'm not as caught up on, go there and win by 80. I want to watch us win by 80. I want to watch us win by 150 this week, if possible. But more importantly, it's just, can we continue to steadily improve, learn lessons, stabilize the team? We'll touch on players that may or may not be coming into the side in a moment, and just build gradually into September and make a run at it. We can do it. Full faith. We can do it. There are a couple of teams that can do it, and I think we're certainly one of them. And you don't know what the future will hold. We don't know what our conversation around this club is going to be like in 2 to 3 weeks from now. Everything looks good right now, but I understand that anything can happen, so I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But I'm confident that we are the better side this week. And so how do they handle that? How do they handle knowing we're the better side? How do they stay composed? How do they stay focused? Because when this group are focused on the task at hand, very hard to beat. And I hope that those lessons from the past, I hope that those years of losing to Richmond where they just couldn't get it done, stick with them. I hope there's a little bit of backstory in their minds of, you know what, let's turn the tables and let's start doing to them what they used to do to us. We'll see. Now, when it comes to selection, when it comes to availability, we got the injury report. Really, the name that I think is most relevant this week is maybe Adam Chera, maybe Jesse Motlop. It's hard to think about changes at the moment. The team's going well, and you want to reward that. Guys that used to be dropped in this situation, I don't think you can. I mean, Cowan, Boyd, Chincotta, these guys, they're all playing at such a high level and contributing at a really high level. So we've quickly evolved from that. Pito's probably the other one. Although Tom De Koning is not only playing the best football of his career, he's playing the best football of anyone in the competition over the last month, arguably. So there's that. That conversation has just evolved immediately because of the level that Tom De Koning's playing at right now. He comes up against a great ruckman in Toby Nankervis, really experienced, high level, high quality ruckman. So what they do with that, we'll see. Chera's one who I think is at a level with his game where, you've got to find a way to get him in there. He's that good. I believe he's that good for us. Two-way runner, uses the ball well, defends at a high level for a midfielder as well. And so to get him in there, you might need a couple of weeks to stabilize back into the side. I think you kind of have to do it. Does that mean, is it a Fantasia? I can't see any of these midfielders dropping out. Hewitt, Kennedy, Cripps usually is a conversation we're talking around. You can't have them all there, but why not? Why can't you when they're playing at this level? So that's probably one that I'm curious around. Motlop is another name. He was having a great preseason from all reports. It's quite sad that we haven't seen him all season. It's awful for him, but hopefully throughout the process of 2024, it goes into the history books of Jesse Motlop's experience as a real learning lesson for him and his body and understanding it on a deeper level. Sometimes injuries are good because it can teach you that rehabilitation process and how you got to listen to your body. Sam Walsh spoke about that just recently around how he just pushed himself a little bit too much and he's got to be able to understand it a little bit more. So, Jesse, I think's magic. He's got the thing. The issue is, where's he fitting in? Is he coming in as a sub? You're dropping dirt in. What are you doing there? So that's a team selection issue that they will figure out on their own. We're going to get guys like Cottrell back to availability, Cunningham. I did mention Pito, but right now it's crazy. This conversation a month or 2 months ago was wait till they come back into the side. Now it's, well, where are they going to fit? So that's great. Where do you sit in that conversation around these players? How many of them do you think you kind of have to find a spot for? And if so, what are you doing there? Because, it's round 16. We're in the final third of the season. It's the build-up up until the end of the season now. And you kind of want to get the side as settled as humanly possible. And so you've got to start thinking about this now. What type of side do we want to be bringing in for the end of the year? Or is it just a week by week? I don't think you want to be changing your side as much as you possibly can within your control into a final series. You want to have it as settled as you can. We're looking at the Sydney Swans and what that's looking like for them. You know, they've got 15 players that have played every game, I think, this year, or 16. Like, that's what continuity does, arguably. So, yeah, where do you sit on that? Let me know in the comments. We'll go from there. I'm going to be going with my sister. We've got the President's Club function this week. Going to be wining and dining at the MCG, just the two of us. I get that ticket as part of the Corey Durden sponsorship. So, yeah, that'll be nice. A different experience at the footy. I'll go with her. I've never taken her to one of these functions, so that'll be nice. And, you know, just want to sit back and enjoy the show. And like I said, hopefully we can start punishing some of these teams that used to punish us. And it starts on Sunday. So share with me in the comments below. What are your thoughts around this week, whether it comes to team selection or just maybe what we need to learn from last time we played. And we'll go from there. Go Blues.